Hey guys, second part in the series on the little CVA that we're turning into a kid's gun. We're going to take that little stock from drab to this, kind of snazzy. So stay tuned. You guys aren't going to want to miss this one. All right guys, in case you forgot, this is a little CVA we cut down. Still shiny. Still, you can use it for a signaling mirror, but we're fixing to trim it up, chop it up, and get all this shine off of it. All right, first thing I'm going to do is you can see I've marked it with this keel. I want to take that little piece out of the stock and shape it up. And what that's going to do is kind of give it a more historic look and start to take some of the weight off the front and just thin the stock down some. So we're going to get rid of that piece with our Japanese Shinto Rast because that's kind of the tool for the job. What these Shinto Rast Bar, if you're not familiar with them, I don't know how well you can see that. They're kind of basically just a stack of hacksaw blades. They have two different, have kind of a coarse and a finer thickness, and they will really move the wood. I use these a lot for stock shaping and bow building as well. Really nice tool. Japanese rasp, I think is what they're also called, but those are on Amazon. I'll try to be smart enough to get a link in the description on the bottom because they are handy. They're a little pricey. They're about 40 or 50 bucks for that little rasp, but well worth the money. And that's what we're going to use to shape this stock a lot. All right, for a rough shape, I can live with that. Kind of gives you an idea. Now what I'm gonna start doing is coming down through here and rolling this barrel channel, the wood more into the barrel where you don't have this abrupt 90-degree angle. It'll feather out, and we're gonna take a lot of this polish off the side. And I'm gonna do that the same way. I'm gonna do it with the Shinto rasp, but I'm gonna, what I call draw file it. I'm gonna pull it towards me and just try to keep it as smooth as possible. Probably start out with the rough side to get the shine off of it, and then I'll transfer over to the smooth side, and then of course we'll do a whole process of sanding it and all that and getting all the grooves out of it, but starting to shape up. One thing I do want to caution with, if you do something like this, not so much on these sides, your off-lock side, but everywhere you're fitted, where your lock is, where your trigger is, everywhere that's got a factory, for lack of a better word, machined edge on it, I wouldn't get crazy about taking the wood down because it's kind of pre-fitted. So you need to keep in mind, if you take wood down, you're going to raise your metal up, and you'll have to end up taking your metal down as well to get a good fit back. So we're just going to kind of knock the gloss off around the lock, around the barrel inlay on the top, and call it good. We'll just go from there, and you can see already I've thinned this up considerably from what it was. So that's where we're going to lose a lot of our weight, is there, and not mess with this area, because as I said, you don't want to do much here because you'll have to match the metal surface to the wood surface, and that's getting in pretty deep at that point. You could really screw a stock up pretty quick to what the factory fit was. So let's stay away from there. An area I am going to get a little more aggressive with is here in the wrist area. And I'm going to thin that wrist up a little bit. That's where you have a lot of stock breaks, but I'm going to thin it up for a little smaller hands, make it a little more comfortable for them, and probably take the comb back just a touch. But as far as taking a lot of wood off, other than the forearm in there, that's probably about the only major places I'm going to really move some wood. Other than that, I'm just cleaning it up a little bit. So we're going to thin this up a touch. Like gun builders rolling over in the grave right now because I'm doing this in my lap, but it's okay. Happy little stocks live here. There's no mistakes, just happy little accidents, or whatever it was Bob Ross used to say. All right, if you're still with me after all that scraping, scratching, and carrying on, that's what it's starting to look like, shaped up. All I'm going to do now is take the fine side, kind of clean up some of my rough lines, blend some lines, and then it's just going to be a whole lot of sanding. And I'm sure you probably know how to sand, and honestly probably know how to use this thing. So I'm going to spare you all the boring details. We're going to fast forward and get to the fun part, burning this bad boy and making it look like it's got some stripes. Somebody made a comment. I think they thought I said it was curly maple in the last video. No, these things are not curly maple. They're either some kind of birch or a bird's eye, maybe maple or hard maple or something. I don't know. I don't even know that they're maple. They may very well all be birch. But we're going to make this dude look like it's got tiger stripes. So hang around. If you've been with me this long, just a few more seconds, guys. All right, this next part's the fun part. We've got the stock all shaped and sanded. Now all we need is some sort of oil and a propane torch. I'm using a propane torch to stripe it. Then I'm going to start in working the oil in and give it that good dark look. I'm going to use probably Begas grease and what have I got over there? I got a little canola oil that I use to quench knives in. So that's probably what we're going to use. We'll work both of those in and maybe throw a little stain on it. We'll see what it ends up looking like. So here we go, guys. We're going to burn this stock. See, there's a sweet spot there. If you hold it, that flame separates and scorches the wood. You come in here and give it a few little half burns too. You don't have to make the lines continuous. Give it a little bit of figure. Try to line it up across the top. All right, so while this thing's still hotter than mother-in-law's love, I'm gonna take some of this premium bear grease and start working it in the stock. So there it is, guys. I'm pretty happy with the way it's turned out. We'll probably add another coat of oil to it, maybe buff on it a little bit. But that, for the most part, is it. We've got it at a good weight and a good size for the kiddos. Coming up next, of course, in the series, we're going to get some weight off this barrel and get it half round to octagon. So that'll be coming up probably next week. Don't want to miss that. And turkey season will be here before you know it. We're going to get out and chase some birds with some flintlocks and maybe even get the old double barrel black powder gun out. So you don't want to miss that. As always, we appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and please tell your friends about us and hit that like and subscribe button.